So basically, you've got the top of the frame, the bottom of the frame, and you've got two sides to make one honey frame, honey supersize frame. I have different size nails that I like to use depending on what part of the frames I'm putting together. They do tend to pull apart if you're not careful, so I also use glue. I mean, the honey frames are going to take less abuse because you're not pulling them out as much as the regular deep frames. And then I like regular wax foundation as opposed to the plastic. I just have had better luck with the wax. So that is what I'm going to show you today. All right, here we go. So what we are going to do is put together frames for the honey super. This is one that I already put together, and I can show you putting in wax foundation later. I prefer wax foundation, but if you like plastic, you can use plastic foundation. If you do like wax, though, you want to get this kind of frame because it's made for this piece to come off, which I'll show you later, so you can put the wires from the wax foundation underneath and then nail it. It holds it together better. I use nails and glue because it's going to stay together better. You really need the glue. So what you need is a top bar, which is this right here, and you need obviously the bottom. The bottom has a slant, and you want that to be facing so it's the widest facing up when the frame's assembled. It's to make it easier to put the wax in there. It doesn't really make that much difference. I've put them together wrong before. It wasn't the end of the world. And then you're going to need two of the side pieces. So these are the sides. This is how it goes. Top, bottom, wide. You'll see in a minute. And I just use wood glue. So I start with the top. I'm going to put glue here. And on the other side. And then I will get my sides and put those in place. Glue squishes out, which is fine. You just want to make sure if you get a lot inside where the wax is going, I just spread it a little bit. And then you can spread the glue out. It's fine. It's better if it sort of, you want to fill the joints, but you don't need to make a big mess. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here and here, and then on the sides, just to get decent coverage, like so. And then remember I said I want the slant to face in the frame, because that'll be up when the frame is in the, sorry, there's a plane flying in. I'm just going to spread the glue, make the best use of it. Like so. Alright, so I've got it glued together. And I use a variety of nails. I like a larger nail for the top. They can be a pain if they're too long, because then if it starts to go crooked, it sticks out. These are 1-inch nails. I kind of like these 3/4 inch nails. These are called copper plated weather strip nails because they've got a bit of a ridge in them, which I think makes them hold a little better. Let's just try one of those. And I'm just gonna put that. You want to make sure the frame looks square, which isn't as much of a problem with the honey super frames. But for the larger frames, they definitely can get out of square. I have a jig for that. See, this is cracking. Well, that went together terribly. So that did not make me happy, but all right, I like these 1-inch nails. Let's do this side. fine. Do the other side. And then again, you just want to sort of, does it look square? Yeah, it looks pretty square. I think we're fine. Definitely smaller nails for the bottom. They tend to split. Again, it's not the end of the world as long as it doesn't come completely apart. It's going to get a lot of propolis and wax on it, and that'll help keep it together. But you don't want it coming apart when you hopefully get honey and you extract the honey in your extractor. And sometimes you can put a nail in from the bottom here up, but to me that's not really, it's not going against the forces. They're going to pull it apart. So I kind of like to go in from the sides like this. Now the best thing to do is obviously not be waiting till you're ready to put these on your hive, but have done this in the winter. But I did not. I didn't expect to need as many, which is a good problem. But there's a flow on right now, so I want to maybe put a couple of honey supers on each. Put one more smallish nail on the top over here. Alright, it's not too bad. Alright, and since I'm demonstrating, I'll do the wax foundation now so you can see. I just use a butter knife, but obviously anything flat will do. So they cut a groove here. That's how you know this is made for wax. And you just sort of, if it's done well, it pries right off. If it doesn't break perfectly, it's not the end of the world. It's just going to hold the wax in there. Let's just smush this glue out a little bit. All right, now I have a new package of wax in the house. All right, so this is how your wax comes. So this was from a local supplier, so it's not cheap, but so it says Beehive Foundation Wire. I'll show you why it says that. 5 5/8 by 16 3/4 hook. So we're going to open that up. Obviously you want to keep this in a cool place because it is wax and it's thin and it will melt. And that's a lot of money wasted if the wax melts. And it comes with these papers in between each, and these aren't bad for starting your smoker, getting your smoker going. So I do sort of save these and fold them up. I mostly use pine needles, but it doesn't hurt to have them, or even if you start a fire at home. This one actually comes with instructions. Wow. Edge hooks. Interesting. Alright, well, I guess that's good if you can understand the instructions. But I'm going to show you anyway. So, here's your wax foundation. And here are what they're calling the hooks. I don't know if I can tip that so you can see it. The little wires that run through, this helps hold the wax together. These wires stick out the bottom. We're going to use that to anchor it into the frame. Put that over there. Alright, so in here is where we took that piece out. So we're going to lower the non-hook part into the bottom of the frame. That's what that hole at the bottom was for, and then flip it so that our hooks are just sitting nicely like so. If you can see that, you can see the hooks in there. Then we're going to take the piece that we pried off, and we're just going to put that right back in place like so. And it's going to just hold the hooks in place. And then we really only need really tiny nails for this. I have these number 18 by 5/8 wire brads, which are kind of, I like, because someday if you want to take this out, you're going to pull this board off. You're just going to pry it off. So it's not like this is something that may be on there forever. So I put like 5 nails, but it's up to you. One in the middle here. Depends if I'm in a rush and I'm feeling lazy, but we'll do 5 today. So that's it. That wasn't so bad. So it's pretty solid. It's pretty square. You've got your nice new wax foundation. Hopefully they'll build it out quickly. Oh, wait, we're not done though. We are going to put in pins. So you can reuse pins. So some of these are older pins that I've pulled out of frames. Or I had a bag from a mentor from years ago, so that's why they're rusty, but that doesn't matter. So on the sides of these upright pieces are holes, and all you're going to do, this also is made with a slit for the wax. So we're gonna slide this in the hole and line it up so that I'll turn it so you can see. So what I want to do is, obviously I'm trying to hit the wax like that. So there's half of this pin is on this side and the other half, so it's just holding it. So you've got wires for support, you've got the loop or the hooks underneath here to hold it. So, and you've got four of the pins. It's pretty sturdy. There's other people that use fishing line or wire and cross. I've never done that, and I have had okay luck with everything staying together, so I haven't tried it. Maybe someday. Put that pin in, and we'll put this pin in. So as you can see, it's really not a big deal, but it doesn't take 2 seconds either. So you really don't want to wait till the last minute if you're thinking, oh, I'll just put together 10 of these frames and put it out in my hive today. You definitely should do it the day before, the night before, or in the winter. If you do it in the winter, you have to store your wax in a airtight container, because you'll get wax moths and they'll eat the wax, and that will be really sad. So that's it. I hope you liked that. We can do one more if you want to keep watching. All right, so once again, you've got your top bar, you've got your bottom bar, and you've got 2 uprights. And this was less expensive. It was a package that just had the wood. Didn't come with pins. It's not a kit, because sometimes, I mean, you could pay a fortune, and obviously you can buy them already assembled, but the more that's done for you, the more you're paying, and you'll find there's lots of things to spend money on in beekeeping, so the more things you can do yourself, the better. And this really isn't hard. I mean, if you're going to be pulling frames apart and taking care of your bees, this probably isn't that big a deal for you. Glue, put an upright on each side. And since I've already showed you how to put it, I'll just nail it now so we don't have that popping off while I am trying to nail this. Make sure that that's in nice and tight. There's a honeybee flying around right now because she smells the wax. Plus I cleaned off some frames earlier into that box, so she probably smells excess wax and propolis over there. Okay, so the card ran out of space. So what I was about to say was, if you go to the store and you start looking at brads, you don't know what to buy. So I just show you what I've got here. So these are called number 17 by 1 inch smooth shank, and these have like a little head on them. So I kind of like these for the top. That's what that looks like. It's a good size. And then I was using these also. These are number 18s by 3/4 inch brass pins. That's these. Again, they sort of have like a rounded top, but they have a head on them. And for the small bottoms, the number 18 by 5/8 wire brads work well. Those are pretty tiny. For the bottom, you don't want to split them apart while you're trying to put them together. Anyway, so let's put another one of these, because I had already put the 1 inch silver on this side, so I was just putting a brass one. Sometimes I put both, you know, kind of just depends what I feel like doing. As long as you feel like it's put together securely and it hasn't split apart, you're doing good. Alright, onto the bottom. Little glue here, glue here, and then just on the sides. You just want this, you don't need a lot of wood glue. You need it to fill the space, but you don't need to squish out all over the place. And again, remember, this wide part goes on the inside of the frame, because you're going to want to just make it easier to slide the wax in. Spread that around. Right, and then we will put our small wire brads in the bottom. And of course, I'm doing this outside on a table. I don't care if I get glue on it or hammer on it, so keep that in mind. When you start working, you probably don't want to do it on your nice coffee table. Yeah, it split a little there, but that's fine. And just want to make sure everything looks kind of square and feels like it's pushed together well. Whenever I hold a hammer like this, I think about my shop teacher. I took a carpentry class, and he would say, never choke up on the hammer like that. You want to hold a hammer like this, but he's not here to see, so. It is nice to have a smaller hammer because this is a little delicate, but you can use whatever you have. When you do put the wire brads in the bottom, after you put the wax in, it is a little easier. Take a piece of wax out and get that ready. And where's my butter knife? It's gone to, oh, here it is. Okay, so again, remember, these that are made for wax have this piece sort of pre-split, and it should just be held in a little bit, so it should nice and easy. These are great because I've gotten them before where they're really hard to take out. You have to use a knife and pry it apart, but this one is really well made, so it came right out. which is nice because you don't really need to get aggravated at the same time you're trying to put these together. So again, I'm going to put the non-loop side, hook side at the bottom, and then we'll flip it over so that the wire hooks, they call them, are just sitting nice because they come at a 90-degree angle like that. And we're going to just put this piece that we took off right back in place nicely. And again with the wire brads. Drop that one. I'll get that later. And if you know someone that's interested in beekeeping, it's kind of good to have a get-together and put frames together. It's kind of a good way to sort of get your feet wet and see what you're getting yourself into, and you can talk about beekeeping and what's involved. Of course, now with COVID-19, everyone's staying apart, but hopefully eventually we'll be able to get together again. And you could sit 6 feet apart and do this.